What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Chris here with Works Game, and it is time to talk about Bethesda. Bethesda had an incredible presentation at E3. It was jam-packed for an hour and a half. I'm going to try to do it in just a few minutes so that you guys can catch up on which press releases you want to go search down more as they release more and more information this week and in the months to come. Now, the first thing they did talk about was Rage 2. That makes sense because there were already plenty of leaks about it. Basically, if you can see it, you can drive it. I think many of us didn't play Rage 1, but it looks like it's this dystopian Mad Max. It looks fun. It does. So you should go out there and watch the trailers on it. It's absolutely something that I'm interested in. It's going to have a seamless open world. It was a lot like Destiny with more driving. The next thing they talked about was the Elder Scrolls card game. If you haven't downloaded that, it's been out for a while now on mobile and I believe and PC, but they said it's now coming to consoles. So I look forward to trying that on Switch when that launch comes. But if you want to go ahead and download it today, you totally can. And obviously you're creating like a Bethesda account, and so you'll be able to transfer that from platform to platform. I would love to play it on my Switch. Elder Scrolls kept that theme going. We went into ESO Online. They said they are over 11 million players. So I would love to know kind of how those numbers are calculated, because that sounds like they're coming up on like Final Fantasy level. They said that it picked up over 1 million players in just the last year alone. That makes sense going into Somerset Isles. There's more DLC coming. Of course, the next big push is going to be towards Black Marsh, which is exploring the Argonian area. So that'd be cool. They said there's some little side stuff coming along the way. It's kind of like, you know, the word werewolf might have been thrown around there. And then we're moving into Doom Eternal. Now, Doom Eternal was mostly just a hype trailer and everything, and they said, you know, we did a reboot in 2016. It's time for Doom Eternal, and you're going to get a lot of information on that in August at QuakeCon in Dallas. Then they, of course, had Quake come on. Quake Champions opened up, and they were talking about kind of how competitive they want it to be, and they talked about there being an upcoming free-to-play version with a trial right now. And the trial is supposed to be going on this week, and then when that trial closes, if you download that trial, that access is going to continue. So if you're interested in Quake, definitely go to Quake.com, see what's going on there. Wolfenstein 2 left off with a pregnant wife, and they said Wolfenstein Youngblood is the next piece of that franchise. So you're starting off with the twin daughters going into the 80s. They're adults, and the 80s in Paris, and that's actually going to lend itself to co-op play. So hopefully that's good news for everybody that likes Wolfenstein. I know I had some friends pick up Wolfenstein 2, so hopefully they're excited. Then, of course, they said it was time to bring on the main event, and then they showed us spoof trailers. So they showed us some Elder Scrolls Echoes. Elder Scroll Echo is where you talk to your smart home device, and she kind of talks you through the adventure, and it was very funny. They did a great job kind of pulling everybody's leg, and then they naturally did show us Fallout 76. The whole presentation it started off with like some weird music. The whole thing was them just being really goofy. It was awesome. It was a great event through and through. Fallout 76 is going to be 4 times the size of every other Fallout game so far, and it's actually going to be an MMO. It's softcore survival. It can be played single player or co-op. You can go through and just do quests and stuff on your own. There are no servers. It's like you're just hopping in, and when you hop in, you're put directly on 100% dedicated support from their end. So it's not self-hosted or anything like that. And in your world, there's going to be dozens of players, not hundreds, because they said it is post-apocalyptic. There shouldn't be that many. And you can join friends whenever. Your progression is going to carry. You're going to be able to like build these bases. They said they're mobile, but they didn't really show that. They just showed you building them and that they can be destroyed. The wide open world is going to have no rules, and so everything you do is going to change the outcome of how that, I guess, version of the game is going, and then you might just pick up and redo it because it can all be destroyed because there are atomic sites throughout the world that can kind of wipe it, and those look like that's going to be your progression areas that you're going to go in and explore these radioactive areas and get rare resources and things like that. The beta is going to be coming out, and if you would like to go opt into that and ask to be a part of that, looks like it maybe have open beta. I didn't hear a date that was firm on that because they did say that it would be published November of this year. So once they said that, I kind of had trouble listening to anything else. November of this year is crazy. So the collector's game gets this really cool helmet. They get a map that glows in the dark. The Fallout Shelter, if you haven't played their app, is coming to PS4 and Switch. That's been a big push for this whole presentation, was that everything's coming to every platform possible. So Fallout Shelter, I think, looked really interesting as far as, I never really got big into it on my phone, but if I can play it on my Switch, I'm intrigued. 120 million people are playing it already or have played it, and they said that is more than every other Fallout game combined. So that's really awesome that they're getting that much support from the Apple Play, Apple and Amazon Play Store and all that stuff. Elder Scrolls Blades is going to be their next mobile app, and it's just basically incredibly beautiful, runs on a phone. It's a touch, swipe. We've seen games like that. They said it can be played in portrait mode, so you don't have to look like you're playing a game, and that it will be cross-console down the line. Will even support VR, and that all of that is going to be, you're going to be playing with other people across all the different platforms, and it will be this fall for free. So you can pre-register for early access. They said they called it pre-order. I don't know how you pre-order something that's free necessarily. Like, you're not giving resources, you're just opting in. So then they started to wrap up, and they said, you know what, we need to talk a little bit about new IP. We haven't had new IP for like 20 or 25 years, and we are going to do totally new IP. So they showed us a very brief trailer that showed us Starfield is taking place in space. We got nothing else. That was it. It's in space. Everybody kind of knew that Starfield was out there and that it was in space. The fan theory's been that it's going to somehow combine the history of the world so that we can see that Fallout takes place in the same universe as Elder Scrolls. I don't think that would be the case, but we didn't get anything. And then they showed us a second trailer for Elder Scrolls 6. They just showed us the world. They didn't show really any gameplay, nothing. It was just, we're getting an Elder Scrolls game. So I think it was exciting to leave on those notes. I don't know if they were just tight on time or if those were meant to just be teasers because we didn't get dates. I'm sure there's a ton of speculation already out there. I'm sure there was speculation out there as they showed it. So that was it. It was definitely a solid hour and a half. There's been some screenshots that hopefully I've been showing kind of up here or somewhere. And this has been Chris with Work to Game. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. What is Work to Game? 30 seconds, go! Work to Game is basically a channel where we talk about video games, anything we like about video games. We sometimes post vlog videos about something else that we just want to talk about. We kind of have a schedule. It changes all the time. It's in the About section on YouTube. We also stream over on Twitch just anytime we want to play games. Right now, it's happening more and more. I don't know what's happening at the time you watch this video, but the best thing you could do is click on the About page and kind of see if there's a rough plan that we have here